on. Greetings, my name is Efrain, and for the past handful of weeks I have done nothing but play Elden Ring. So much so that I kind of forgot I had a YouTube channel and put some projects aside. Yeah, you know, no big deal. This is like my job, sort of. So I figured I'd tell you all about it in a video. Thanks for tuning in. Now you've probably heard about this game, even if you've never played a FromSoftware title or you've just avoided these types of games your entire life. That's right, even the Stardew Valley Animal Crossing Switch player and their mom have heard about this game, due to the fact that critics, journalists, and internet personalities have praised the game so highly. And for those of you who haven't played it, or are on the fence about getting it, you may be wondering, is it perfect though? Alright, let me just answer that right away. No, nothing is perfect, and you're quite gullible for believing that. You moron. But in all honesty, it is a damn good game. It definitely deserves all the praise and commendations. I have not put the game down since I got my hands on it. And this is completely true, by the way. When I got it, I did not shower for 3 days because all my time was taken up by Elden Ring. To me, anything that wasn't Elden Ring, eating and shitting was just a time-wasting nuisance. And because of that, my sleep schedule has completely gone to hell and my apartment is a mess. So what is it about this game that drives a man into such a maddening obsessive state? Well, let me tell you all about it in this short impressions and review video masking as a cry for help. Let's get into it. Well, wait, before we actually get into it, I have to be honest. I am not a veteran or a huge fan of FromSoftware's Souls games. However, I did play Armored Core 1 through 4 as a kid, so respect my gangster FromSoftware stands. My introduction to these types of games was back in 2019 with Sekiro, and my god, what a fantastic game to start with. I fell in love with the game visually when the first trailer dropped and immediately decided to buy it on release day. It has such a beautiful world, distinctive style and tone, and addictive gameplay that I was willing to force myself to learn the game's mechanics through countless ass whoopings to experience a masterpiece of gaming. It's one of the few games I proudly have all the achievements in, and is one of my favorites of all time. Now, from my understanding, Sekiro is far different from Dark Souls and Bloodborne, so I'm completely naive about some elements, features, and mechanics that Elden Ring borrows from those games. The only thing I am familiar with are these games' overall brutal difficulty.
No, I don't want to believe that happened. I refuse to believe it. You hear me? Refuse!
So this is almost a completely fresh perspective on the game. This is ultimately a newcomer's thoughts and opinions, so please don't crucify me for sucking at the game or not knowing about this thing that's been in like Dark Souls forever, like you filthy casual. Go back to Skyrim where you belong and stay there, little baby playing little baby games. Also, if you wanted a deep and full analysis of this game, no. At the time of writing this, I'm 100 plus hours in, I've killed like 3 main bosses and I've only uncovered like half of the map. I have quite a number of mini bosses under my belt though. Fuck you, Bloodhound. Didn't even use the wolf guy first time because I didn't know that was a thing I could do. Okay, now that we've established that, onto the meat and potatoes of this video. Let's first talk all about the thing you're going to spend the most time looking at, the graphics. At first, I was expecting the brooding, dreary, and ominous style of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Sekiro. That is still the case in some areas and regions because it's a FromSoft game. I mean, take a walk out to the eastern part of the map. It's like you're stepping into a Hieronymus Bosch painting. After you make your way out of the starting area and cave, you're greeted with this huge lively open world that is just beautiful. The landscape is chock full of attention-grabbing monuments and buildings out in the distance that in time you can go to and explore. While on the ground, there's all these different terrains, plants, animals, enemies, and structures nearby. It's these sights that immediately make you want to go out and explore, interact, and fight with the world. What also helps is this game's vibrant color, which really invite you into the world. Ultimately, it welcomes your curiosity, and the gameplay further encourages it, but we'll get to that later. Just be careful exploring because this is a FromSoft game. Don't get too invited. Oh, hey, what's over here? Oh my god!
Shoot! Oh! Oh! Oh!
Overall, it's filled to the brim with gorgeous environments, even underground. There's an elevator out in the middle of the woods that takes you to a subterranean location. Upon first playthrough, I didn't know what to expect, and the long elevator ride built up this anticipation of something really epic, and it totally delivers. It's this huge cavern with its own beautiful starry skybox, a vibrant ecosystem, and compelling ruins. It was so exciting to explore because I was like, wow, there's like a whole nother world down here. It's extremely reminiscent to Blackreach from Skyrim, and just like that area, it's equally as enthralling. The boss for this level even has its own captivating arena. A gigantic cavern filled with ghostly fog and scary pointed rocks, and as you get closer, the boss slowly emerges from the mist and you engage in this beautiful battle with this spirit deer that spews cool looking flames, all while damn good music plays in the background. It's so awesome, and playing it again for this video was such a delight. This time, really taking in all the sights and sounds like, oh my god. Oh, it makes me want to do a cum. Apart from that, because this is a medieval fantasy game, you have your castles, your shrines, your wizardy towers, your what the fuck? That are all a bit more darkly themed, which I gather is more Dark Souls-esque. Finally, the characters and bosses all look very cool. Most bigger enemies look intimidating with their rough appearance, millions of little details, and weapons that look like they were forged in the fires of angels and devils. On top of that, cinematics, as usual, look divine, real sexy and smooth. From top to bottom, this game is gorgeous. I want to talk about audio now, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. I just want to quickly cover the music and sound. The soundtrack is amazing. Now, it's got nothing you can really jam to like Mega Man X, but it has some pieces that perfectly encapsulate the grand fantasy style and tone of the accompanying game elements. That was a real nerdy sentence. Some are real intense and exuberant, which really pumps you up, like when fighting a dragon. While others are slow, ominous, and slightly eerie, like when you get to stupid Radahn's castle in Caelid. There's slow male chanting that really blindsides you when you first step foot into the place. It's melancholic and calm, which is the complete opposite of the surrounding areas. What makes it even more unsettling is the absence of any NPCs or enemies. The NPCs in the back don't count. They're part of the boss. Shut up. This part is meant to bring some peace, and the music helps slow things down right before your fight with the devil himself. It's a real calm before the storm moment. Moving on, ambient noises are very well done in this game. It really makes the areas sound alive. Just check out all the sweet sounds in the swamp area. And combat sounds are fine, nothing really spectacular. They are, however, extremely repetitive and get old quite fast. Now, the sights and sounds are all well and good, but you might want to hear about how you interact with them. Let's talk gameplay. Yeah, FromSoftware games are pretty, but they're most notable for their gameplay, and I can guarantee you it's easily one of the best games I've ever played. To put it simply, it's an open world Dark Souls game, and I fucking love it. The main reason I put so much time into the game and I'm nowhere near completing the main story is because the world is so big and there's always something to explore. Seriously, there is tons of content here. You start with one simple task, get to the area's main dungeon and kill the boss, but then you see something off in the distance, go, huh, what's over there? And spend the next hour or so doing a bunch of side stuff to level up, get better equipment, or start/finish a side quest. All the while collecting crafting ingredients, checking out the sights, solving puzzles, and of course, fighting. Fighting and killing is the only way to earn runes, this game's currency and experience. The amount of runes you get from each kill depend on the size and difficulty of the enemy, with bosses obviously granting the most runes, so the reward is always appropriate, well-deserved, and satisfying in the end. Having runes be both experience and currency presents quite a choice, so you have to decide whether you want to buy some gear or spells, upgrade weapons, or level up. And when you die and you can't pick up your runes, it's a pretty devastating loss. Buying gear to test and use, or leveling up to raise your attributes to use the new doohickey you just got can get quite addictive. There's a lot of different stuff to try out in this game. Admittedly, some are repeats, but still, it's a lot of fun to try them out just because they look so damn cool. When you level up, you can spend a single point to raise one of several attributes. 3 are for health, mana, and stamina, so you fare slightly better in your next ass beating. It's important to spend some points on these, trust me. The others are skills that raise your proficiency with weapons or spells. Equipment and spells requires you to have a certain level in these skills for you to use, like a lot of common RPGs. Because of this, you create short-term goals for yourself, level up, and uncover more of the game. So in my first playthrough, I'd find a thing, say, wow, I want to use that, and grind away to level up my faith, dexterity, and strength, all the while uncovering more and more stuff to later grind away at. I'm now a staff and spear wielding holy man by accident. Fear me! The combination of all this loot and the character building system is half of what gives this game so much replayability. The other half is the combat, with these types of games' notorious feature, difficult enemies. I'm just gonna come out and say it, this game's hard.
Oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's not possible. It's possible if you're very good at stuff, but it's impossible if you are not leveled correctly and the guy's an optional encounter. You don't have to even fight this guy. I've been wasting 5 hours just trying to come back to fight this optional golden knight guy, and I don't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it again.
Enemy attacks are very punishing, your actions are somewhat slow, and you only have a limited supply of health and magic replenishment per fight. So you have to learn the ins and outs of each enemy's behaviors. Learn when to dodge, when it's okay to block, manage your stamina, mana, and health, and learn when to attack. Learn when to break an enemy's posture and score a crit, how to maneuver around some enemies to maximize damage, when it's okay to use Ash summons for fights all the time. Anytime you can is a good time. You don't feel confident about a fight? Pop a summon. It's okay. They're part of the game. Don't let anyone dictate how you should enjoy the game. Fuck them. And learn which equipment or spells is best suited for the situation or fight. You can't pause the game, so taking a breather mid-fight really isn't an option. Wait! There's tons of stuff to help you out, and hell, you could certainly grind up until you're the king of Ass Kick Mountain. But honestly, the game still demands that you learn how to play it. There's no workaround or legitimate exploit to bosses or tough enemies. If you want to get through them, you have to fight them, and do it with as little mistakes as possible. I've learned through Sekiro and this game, embrace the difficulty, keep trying, learn something new every time you try, and then apply and execute. Eventually you'll get it. Strap in for a rough time though. A lot of deaths and a lot of lost runes if you're unfamiliar with these games. But until you understand how to precisely beat an enemy or boss, like Margit, the butthole fell omen, you can go and explore the open world. Almost none of the areas that I know of are locked by a main story boss, so you can really have a blast exploring and finding stuff to build your character. The game really pushes you towards this with the first 2 bosses. You're not strong enough, so go out into the world, get stronger, and then you'll have a fighting chance. But even when you do come back with a big ol' sword, you still have to really put in the effort and focus to beat a boss. That's just how the game is, at least for your first run through. I'll cut it here, but there's a lot more I really like about the game and I could talk more about. The non-handholdy quest design, so it encourages player exploration of the world, dungeon puzzles, enemy variety, weapon abilities, elemental attack types, whatever this thing is. These things are so fucking cool. Alright, enough. I said this is gonna be quick, so let's get back on track. We're moving on. Now, is there anything I don't like about this game? Yeah, like 1 or 2 minor nitpicks. Mounted combat or horseback combat isn't really exciting or challenging. It's fun against some bosses, but it's not as rich and complex as regular combat. Story and lore is pretty vague. NPCs will tell you about some areas, enemies, and events, but because of how they deliver it through dialogue, it's in one ear and out the other.
The death of Godwyn, the exalted. We who humbly live in death, live in waiting, to one day welcome our Lord.
Say that one more time.
It'd be cool to have like a room to read up on the world because it's a very interesting place. From my understanding, it's FromSoftware's MO to be kinda vague about their world. Ah well. And side quests are pretty annoying. I like that they don't just hold your arms, legs, and feet and just drag you along for the ride like some games. Tell you where to go, who to talk to, and exactly what to do, all with a nifty little compass or map marker you constantly follow. Like I said before, the quests are designed to encourage exploration, but some are so obscure in what you have to do that I ended up googling a lot of them just to see what the next step was. Ah yes, of course, all I had to do was talk to a doll at a site of grace. How could I be so stupid? Even if you Google the quest steps, it's still rewarding to complete them. It's not as satisfying in the end when you put all the pieces together yourself, but it's still pretty rewarding. Now, I'm playing this on the Xbox Series X and performance is quite good. Stable FPS, pretty fast load times, and visuals set on high look incredible. It's the same for PS5 I hear. I haven't touched the multiplayer at all, but I'm sure it's fine. Some PC players have reported unstable FPS and other problems. That should either have been fixed or fixed very soon, I think. And you probably don't want to play this game on an original Xbox One or PS4. Those systems are on their way out, and I don't think they can handle this game. I expect poor performance on those consoles. Definitely not day one Cyberpunk bad, but bad. This is definitely a next-gen game. Now, would I recommend this game to FromSoftware / Dark Soul novices? Absolutely. I mean, I kind of was one not long ago. I strongly recommend this game to any RPG lover. It does require you to be patient and put in the time to learn combat mechanics, but once you get them down, the game becomes remarkably more fun. You learn how to take down one dragon, now you know the recipe for success, and you can take out the next one. It's supposed to be a metaphor. Now reading and saying aloud, I can see it's not a very good one. And even if you're not going around fighting bosses, there is a huge open world with lots of areas to explore, tons of stuff to collect and use. You can't be one boss? Fuck it. Go somewhere else and come back once you get a giant sword. Still gotta learn how to dodge though. I have heard the game's been tough for people who have an actual job or other responsibilities and they don't have the time or patience to learn the game's mechanics. I could see where they're coming from. The game is hard unless you're pretty committed to it, you're gonna have a bad time. If that seems like you, unfortunately you might have to take your $60 elsewhere. But for everyone else who's ready for a stunning, mastercrafted titty twister of a game, go for it. I might not agree with those who say this game is perfect, but I will side with those who say it's a masterpiece. It is definitely that good. Alright, I'm gonna go back to playing Elden Ring. But before that, here's this. Oh, you thought you can get away from me? Well, you can't. I'm here to tell you about the second channel, Efrain TV+. Over there I post non-scripted, laid-back style content. I've been doing some streaming over there too, so come on down and subscribe if you want to catch me live. Got some fun stuff coming up on that channel, so don't miss it. Efrain TV+. Thanks. Hope this video was helpful or entertaining. Thanks for watching. My name is Efrain. Adios.